Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today is June 18th, 2023. Also, Father's Day. So, happy Father's Day. Today is also a portal day. Days divided by 3, 6, and 9 opens up portals into other dimensions. Today is the 18th, which is divisible by 9, which opens up this dimension out into the heavenly or space, however you want to put it. But just notice, today you start noticing things will move more smoothly. You'll see more purple. It's more of this crown chakra energy. Okay. So what's been going on? It's been some time since I made a video update. So today's video is gonna be giving you guys an update on what's been happening in this reality. So the last couple of months, I think especially after the winter solstice, there has been an incredible amounts of purging internally, and it's showing up in my body physically. I've been breaking out in really bad acne, hormonal acne, like my hormones are going out of whack. And at one point I had a staph infection on this side where my whole face was like swollen. And what was interesting is, you know, on the physical body, we may think something that could cause it, right, in our physical reality. But if you take a step back and you look at it energetically, I noticed this staph infection, when it came through, a lot of thoughts and feelings came from from my college years. My childhood years was connected to my cousin. And so growing up, we were compared a lot. And so for some reason, it's like kind of lodged here. And, you know, as I was going through this more purging, detoxing, that is what came up. And what's interesting is when that staph infection went away, you know, me and my cousin actually talked after like quite some time. And what was in my field about the whole situation, the whole comparison, growing up with parents, like it just dissipated, because I went back and I healed that inner child on what happened, what I made it mean. And you know, when we do this inner work, getting to the core of some of these shadows, it may show up in physical form. And here's the thing, if it's showing up, it's on its way out, okay? If it's moving out of the body. And so that's something I want those tuning in to be really conscious of. When you work with Moldavite's energy is very, very expansive. So whatever deep shadow energy that's been within you that you haven't processed, it's going up to the surface for us to release it, okay? There's a couple ways for us to release it. One, Reiki. Reiki is a form where we open up the chakras. Just imagine as a pus, right? The pus will start growing and growing and growing, but if there is a pocket or a hole that releases all this pus out, you'll get some relief. Otherwise, it's going to keep growing until it explodes. So that's what Reiki does. It opens up these chakras for the energy to flow out. So when you pair it up with Moldavite, and again, different Moldavites resonate with different chakras. So when you pair it up with the Moldavite, it's going to push all this energy out and accelerate rate. And again, there's different layers. Some will show up at a certain time, others will show up later, okay? But work with what's showing up in your body physically. So if you have some kind of illness, you have some kind of ache, body pain, or whatever showing up in your body, notice what's happening for each chakra. If you have a lot of stomach issues, solar plexus. There's something in your solar plexus, your ego, your self-esteem, your self-worth. Something's not processed, and so it's keeping you this energy blocked. Okay, so So where was I going? Yeah, there was a lot of detoxing and a lot of releasing since the winter solstice. And to be honest, it was very much standstill from that period until up to now as we approach this summer solstice, which is in 3 days. And I finally feel like I'm coming back to myself again. I'm actually going on a vegetarian diet. I've been cutting out red meat for the last week. So I'm feeling a lot lighter. I'm getting a lot more clarity. And yeah, I just noticed a lot of difference within the body. So there's been a lot of detoxing. So one of the reasons why I haven't really been making videos is the last couple videos I shared about introducing Pallasites, this meteorite that is much older than Moldavite. Moldavite is half earth, half tektite. And so you're working with half earth substance, half space. When you're transitioning over to Pallasite, it is all space substance. Okay, so, and plus Pallasite goes up to 4.5 billion years of past lives versus 18 million years with Moldavite. And so I feel like personally for me, Pallasite entered my reality after I've done a lot of work with Moldavite and managed to open up a pathway to reach out into that space, or it's able to resonate within my field. Prior to this, I didn't even know what Pallasite was. It just never resonated. And I just never really resonated with meteorite stones prior. Okay, so this is new. And so I had Pallasite for about a year now. The last couple months, I got a few more pieces added to my collection. And so, you know, the last video I shared that when Pallasite started entering my field, I feel there's this abundance energy coming through. I noticed upgrades all around my reality. Like my neighborhood, the whole neighborhood, I noticed that they're doing a fiber optic upgrade for the internet for the entire neighborhood. And so it was mandated by the city, so everyone had to like let the guys who's doing the wires like into our backyard whenever they need to. So it was very interesting. So, you know, when we're talking about high-speed internet, this is also an accelerated energy. Okay, so that was an upgrade for the neighborhood. But just notice little upgrades. I noticed buildings around me are getting upgraded too. The home here is getting a renovation. So things are upgrading. So what was interesting is about, you know, I was really testing out this Pallasite energy. And so the last couple months, I strictly work with Pallasite. At that point, none of the Moldavites really resonate. So a lot of times, like 90% of the times they were put away. And what was interesting is when I was just working with Pallasite, I had no urge to make videos, like zero urge. That would give you an idea of why my channel has been silent. I also felt a really big disconnect with my business. I created this channel because of Moldavite, because of, you know, what I saw it do. Like I want to share about my experience with Moldavite, like something's happening I can't explain, but there's another world that we're not aware of, and there's some powerful energy with Moldavite that I haven't heard a lot of people share about. And so my channel was geared towards Moldavite, and my business was created starting with Moldavite. And so in that period when all the Moldavites are put away, I felt a disconnect with the channel. I felt a disconnect with the business. I tried to work my business plan thinking like, you know, how I'm gonna build the structure of this business plan, but just nothing came through. And during that period, it was like a very standstill period. I noticed my body is shifting, recalibrating, and it was, you know how when there's like a glass of muddy water, like there's a lot of chaos, there's a lot of mud, there's a lot of yuck everywhere, but how you get the water to be clear again is to be still, and so that everything can settle. That is exactly what happened. When I introduced Pallasite through, my body started acclimating. my hormones are going out of whack. It's not as chaotic as when Moldavite was introduced, but things are still shifting. I feel it. And so the guidance was just to be still and not force myself to do anything. Just allow it to be still so that I can get myself into alignment and kind of go from there. And so that was a good 2-month period of just no Moldavites. And you know, as I balance my chakras, doing a lot of this Reiki work I do on myself. I think a lot of us, we don't really know the power of Reiki. I think when I first heard about Reiki, I didn't really care for it because it just didn't, and it wasn't relevant for me at that point. I studied a lot of past life regressions. For those who are asking, I did study Dolores Cannon's work. I worked on some past life programs called spiritual response therapy, where we use a pendulum and there's like 40 maps that are mapped out, and then we navigate through the maps with the pendulum, right? And so that's one of the ways I've been doing past life regressions, and then also putting people into a trance to do past life regressions. But what's interesting is, you know, as I'm learning all of these modalities, I'm using a lot of myself, right? Because with Moldavite's energy, everything is accelerated. So we think that we're learning it to heal other people. At the end of the day, it's to heal ourselves, get ourselves cleared and back into alignment, reconnect with source. And then we go back out and then we share this knowledge. But that was my journey, like working with so much Moldavite. It's like, learn this, do it yourself most of the time. A lot of time was on myself. And so for those who trickle through, managed to get some healings through me, it's just meant to be, right? And so back to Reiki. I did not realize how powerful Reiki is until I learned to master it. So for those who don't understand Reiki, the Reiki is to help the practitioner, right? We go through level 1, level 2, and then to get our masters, like it takes time for us to open up the body to be this clear vessel. And the goal of a Reiki master is to have our body be a clear vessel so that we are connected to source. So there's a lot of purging and releasing during the training period. And I noticed my hands becoming more sensitive to energy. I feel energy is coming in and out, right? The more clear we are as a vessel, the source energy flows through us, out of us. Even as I'm holding up my hands right now, you will probably feel a pulsing energy in and out, okay? So healing hands. Jesus is believed to learn Reiki up in the mountains. So that explains a lot of his healing work. But Reiki has been accelerating a lot of my healings, right? Just imagine all this Moldavite energy coming through, and especially like after the last activation, I had about almost 1,000 grams of Moldavite in my possession of activated Moldavites. And so all this energy was pushing up and I had no outlet. I could only do so much past life regressions, but it's tackling like one lifetime at a time. But what Reiki does, it's, when all this energy comes up, it just needs an outlet. So I would Reiki myself and open up the chakras. And when I pair it with Moldavite, when it's open, I feel this gush of energy leaving, right? If we don't open the chakras to let it release, which is fine, it's gonna surface up into the body, and then it's gonna manifest into the real world for us to learn a lesson. Reiki is just an accelerated way to release the energy. But yeah, like if it's, again, not everyone works a lot of Moldavite. If you have a few pieces, go gradual. And you notice if you get like a bigger piece or like a smaller inventory come through, then everything's gonna be super accelerated. And that's why when you notice your reality shifting so fast and you're not ready for it, or so much chaos is happening, so much, people leaving your life, or arguments, or you exploding on someone, just remember, this energy is coming up from your body. It needs a place to leave. Whenever you cry, it's a purge. Whenever you explode on someone, it's a purge. Like you're managed to let your feelings out, right? That's a purge. So just be conscious. If it's on its way up, it's on its way out. So you can let it out physically, emotionally, through conversations, through a therapist, right? Moving the energy through conversation, through exercise, through yoga, through Pilates, right? It's moving the energy out. What I noticed, the fastest way to move it out is Reiki. So, but yeah, if you guys want to do some Reiki, I am opening up sessions again. So link on my website. Okay, so back to, getting back into alignment with myself, okay? It was interesting because when I had to just work on the Pallasites, the business was like not relevant. My channel was not really relevant. Didn't have no pull, no desire to work on it. It was until I got in alignment, and then like almost instantaneously, this is one of my favorite Moldavites. This was the first to come out. So this is a dragon's claw that I activated in Zion on 11/11/2020. And every time I have this one out, it brings in this third eye energy, right? You're talking about royal blue. It brings in a lot of royal growth energy. And so almost instantaneously, I got connected to my business. I started thinking about the business plan. I started thinking about where the business wants to go, where the energy wants to flow. That's another series I'm going to start making too. If for those who are getting called to create your business, right? It's important that you learn to work with the business energetically, because it's going to start becoming its own consciousness, and you need to separate yourself from the business, right? We have our own thoughts and feelings, our own ego, but the business will have its own consciousness, because eventually when you have partners, you're going to need to get your ego out of the way. Okay, so it's very important to learn about the energetics of your business separate from yourself. So that's another series I'm going to start building on the business side of the energetics of business. And then another series I want to bring out is cats. I have 8 cats. I think I managed to keep all the kittens. All the cats came through. I think at one point after I came back from one of the activations of 7 months away, I brought back about 800 grams of activated Moldavite. During that time period, my cat had kittens twice back to back, and at one point we had about 17 kittens. It was very chaotic. So just pay attention. The cats that are, when you start working Moldavite, you're going to notice cats are going to be entering your field, and the color also represents, also gives you an idea of what chakra is you need to pay attention to. Okay, so I'm gonna do a series on cats, how they've been showing up in my reality, what I'm noticing, their movements, how they've been acting the last 4 years, just having them and work with Moldavite. And it's very, very interesting. The cats are the guardians of the spiritual realm, and I noticed at witching hour, there was 1 or 2 that acts up a lot of times during witching hour, so there's some correlation there. And then I also see them in my dreams, and I notice, when they show up, it's different messages. I tune in, and I also, something I really noticed lately, I was laying with my one of my cats the other day, and when I surrender body and I just let the energy move, I noticed I put one of my hands on my stomach, and then my other hand on my other cat's stomach. So this one, I named him Tiger. He's a very solar plexus energy. But I was just laying there, he's sleeping next to me. I noticed energy pulling out from my solar plexus, transferring into him. Okay. So the cat's energy field, the aura, is very healing. It transmutes energy. So I've been working with the cats on different healings as well. Also connecting them to different souls when I do soul retrievals or past life regressions with clients. So I want to make a series on energies with cats. in correlation with Moldavite as well. But I think that would be a very interesting series. See, so when I bring this Moldavite out, like all these ideas keeps coming through. But yeah, so here's a update on you guys on what's been happening. But the summer solstice is coming up in 3 days. You know, this is when the Earth is the closest to the sun. So go put all your crystals out there to get a solar charge from this massive sun energy, because after the summer solstice, the Earth will be moving away from the sun, so days will be starting getting shorter. So we're starting to go internal again. Okay, so take advantage of this next couple of days. Go charge your crystals, and then I'm going to start talking about preparing for the Lion's Gate on 8/8 as well. This is a period of massive expansion. Again, a lot of feline energy, right? A cat transitioning to a lion. This Lion's Gate time is all about expansion, all about growth. And 2 times already, I noticed my channel explode. So a couple of videos explode during this time. And also my podcast exploded exactly when the Lion's Gate portal started. July 26th to August 12th. It is a huge jump. So I'll make a video on how to prepare for Lion's Gate, but all these ideas are coming through. I'm finally in alignment. I'm able to work with the Moldavite and the Pallasites together. So yeah, that's sort of update. Pay attention to the channel. I will start popping up more videos now that I'm getting back into the flow. I'm really feeling myself again. But if you guys feel called to do any healing sessions, I am opening that up again. Other than that, I will see everyone for the next episode, whenever that may be. Give it a couple days. All right, everyone, enjoy the summer solstice, and I'll see you when I see you. Temidu, signing off.